halftime shows
Well, there
in the
you go.
last
There's that
decade.
too. Adam Schefter is brought to you by Colorado Credit Union. Love where you live. Love where you bank. Visit ccu.org to learn more. Adam, you're back at home. The Super Bowl week is over. Did it turn out like you expected, or were you shocked of the dominance of the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, listen, I don't think anybody expected that kind of result. I was, it's easy to say now, I was expecting the Eagles to win the game. I didn't think it would be as one-sided as it was. It felt like them. In fact, I was with some Philadelphia people on Friday afternoon. I'm like, "You're winning this game." I just felt it.
Really?
I just felt it. Oh yeah. I could show you. Jim Cramer texted me. He's like, "There are Chiefs fans everywhere here in New Orleans." I'm like, "Calm down. Don't worry. Your team's gonna win. Don't worry about it." So by the way, incoming text just now, right now.
Get it?
Mike Trout. Eagles win. He's
Trout.
a big Eagles fan. Big Eagles fan. Huge Eagles fan.
All right. Do you think that game has any implication on the long-term dynasty of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, yeah, of course it does. They're still a dynasty, and they were on the precipice of doing something that nobody had ever done. So that would have put them into a different category in my mind. It would have elevated them. Now they're one of a handful of dynasties that we've seen, and they had a chance to do something that nobody else had ever done. Didn't do it. And I actually thought of this last night as it pertains to Denver and the Chargers and the rest. Like, teams that lose in the Super Bowl typically struggle the next year. They have there's a little bit of a hangover effect.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia, what, a year or so ago, right?
Yeah. There's something to that, and so I know it doesn't mean much to Broncos fans this morning, but that could be something. That could be something based on history that impacts their season next year, and we'll see if it does.
When you look at the Chiefs, and I said this a while ago, you got an aging tight end, two aging wide receivers, an offensive line that didn't hold up at all last night for a four-man rush. It would seem to me the Chiefs, you're not going to ever be in rebuilding because you got Patrick Mahomes, but they've got a lot of updating they need to do along that team. Would you agree with that?
I think they need some players, like playmakers is what they need to do. They need to add playmakers. They need to shore up some positions. They have the building block in Mahomes, so they're always going to be there. Like, you just think of all the versions of good Bronco teams there were with Elway through the years. And that's what it's like in Kansas City. You're just subbing in guys to kind of complement him. He's the centerpiece. He's going to be there. He's not going anywhere. And he'll have to be dealt with for years to come for Denver.
Why did you have such a feeling late in the week about the Eagles? What was it? Why?
It's a good question. It felt that way to me. Why? I don't know. Why do you feel certain things going into a game, right? Like, I just kind of felt like it was their time. You know what? A couple of people that said, like, last time we were here against the Chiefs, we were tourists in Rome for the first time, all wide-eyed. Now we came here, we're traveling on purpose. I felt like the Chiefs, as great as they've been this year, as great as they've been, and they were unbelievable, there were a lot of narrow victories that they just escaped. Isaiah Likely's toe, Aiden O'Connell's fumble, Will Lutz's miscarry, and after a while, that goes away. And the other thing that I thought about is the Eagles. I know we always fall back, and I do this as much as anybody, on the quarterback and head coach. And Mahomes is the greatest, and Andy Reid's the greatest. And you say, advantage Kansas City. But where they didn't have an advantage, that became obvious in the game, was on the offensive and defensive lines. And that is where games are won. So I feel like the other thing is, what was the we were talking about today. Marvin Hagler.
Yeah.
when he was fighting somebody, talked about somebody sleeping in satin sheets.
Mm.
They had won 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a reason nobody's won 3 in a row.
Right.
Because they're sleeping in satin sheets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was an element of this team. I'm just telling you, Dmac, on Friday, I saw a couple of Eagles. I'm like, you're winning this game.
You knew.
That's what I felt.
You knew.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
Well, no,
yeah.
I want to be very clear. You never know, but that's what I felt.
Adam, I felt this at Super Bowl 48 with the Broncos. It just didn't feel right. It didn't. And being over with the Seahawks was like, whoa, they are way more in control. Complete opposite Super Bowl 50. When I was around like the Panthers guys, I was like, this ain't right. And it was just kind of a feeling. There wasn't any logic behind it. And when you saw Tyler and his teammates over in the hotel there in Santa Clara, there was just a levelness to it that was like, whoa, the Broncos are going to win this one. You could just tell.
I felt back in Super Bowl 32 that Denver was going to win that game. They were 14-point underdogs. I picked them in the Denver Post that day. I just felt it, and maybe you're too close to it. This one, I don't know. I'm just telling you, like, and I didn't feel it right away. It kind of came to me as the week went on. And also, it was everybody picking the Chiefs. Everybody. And I'm like, everybody's never right. Like, it's just not that easy. I just felt the Chiefs. I felt the Eagles were going to beat the Chiefs.
Sure seemed like there was a lot of speculation that came out just hours before the game that this might be Travis Kelce's last game he ever plays. You got a gut feeling on that?
I think that could go either way. I think that it didn't change. Just people talking about it before the game. It's been up in the air. It continues to be up in the air. And you know what? It's not so much that he's going to make the decision as he's going to have it made for him. If there's some movie company and TV show company and media company that comes to him and says, you know, we want you, we're going to pay you this, and he's making more money doing media and movies, then it's going to be easy to move on. If it doesn't materialize in a way that he finds satisfactory and he feels like there is unfinished, then he'll go back to football. And I don't think he can make the decision today just because he doesn't have all the information to make the decision today.
But talk about a guy, you talk about sleeping in satin sheets the last couple of years. He'd been enjoying some satin sheets.
Well, yeah. But he's unbelievable. Like, he's the greatest tight end. Again, Scott, sleeping in satin sheets is not a bad thing, right? It's a great thing. It shows that you've made it. But the point that we're making is that the difference in the NFL from one team to another is not that great. Like, there are a lot of great teams.
Hey, listen, Rocky had to lose to Clubber Lane and realize I got to get back to my old cotton sheets and get out of the satin before he won it back, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, many of those Eagles never slept in satin sheets before, right? Cooper DeJean never did. Quinyon Mitchell never did. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, they never slept in satin sheets before. They're trying to win their first Super. You know who else never slept in satin sheets? Vic Fangio. Never slept in satin sheets before. Okay? So it just were a lot of people. So the Chiefs, they're coming off 2 in a row. It's another one. Again, that was how I felt.
Hey, I do have a question unrelated to the Super Bowl, though, real quick. Sean Payton has been anything but shy about his desire for a joker on this football team, and arguably the best joker in football, maybe not last season, but for the last 3 or 4 years, Deebo Samuel is now seeking a trade from the 49ers. I know he makes a lot of money. I know you got to trade for him. Do you think that this is something Sean Payton should and will pursue?
I see Sean, he's been so good at coming up with his own young people on rookie contracts. That's not to say that he couldn't add Deebo, because I think Sean, for all the noise he's made about wanting a joker, I think he'd be very happy having 2 jokers. Yeah. And if he can lock in Deebo as a joker, I'm not saying he will, but I think it's important for them to go draft that tight end or running back. They could certainly use Deebo. Definitely. He would fit there. I could see it. but I don't think he's rushing out to do it. I don't know if he's like he heard this and like, boy, we got to go figure out a way to get Deebo Samuel.
What would a healthy Deebo Samuel do for Kansas City?
Well, they've got a few wide receivers right now, which is interesting. They've got Marquise Brown and I think DeAndre Hopkins are up. But I think the big thing there, Scott, is Rashee Rice is going to be a free agent. And he's coming back from the knee injury, I should say. Those other guys are free agents. If they get Rashee Rice back and he's healthy, that will be a big addition. And I think if you're the Chiefs, you want to bring back one of those other guys.
Adam, last one here as we wrap things up. What happened during this Super Bowl that you've never seen or experienced before in all your Super Bowls?
Well, I'll tell you a fun story. Because that's what the Super Bowl is about. It's about story.
Absolutely.
I my wife and my daughter came down last Sunday night, and they left Tuesday because my daughter had to do media night. My wife took her back Tuesday to school. And then Friday night, my son and my daughter came back because she had to do post-game for Nickelodeon last night when I was her runner on the field, which is great. I have no post-game responsibilities other than to help my Dylan get interviews on the field.
That's hysterical.
So Friday night, they came down, and they landed late. I didn't know what time they were going to land. So I didn't make any dinner reservations the Friday night before the Super Bowl in New Orleans. I just didn't know. So there was a sushi restaurant across the street from the hotel. We went to go in there, and like we couldn't get in because there were so many people in long lines, and it turned out there was a Post Malone concert.
Okay.
We were trying to navigate our way through that. We finally got our way into the sushi restaurant, and they couldn't seat us. It was full. Okay. So we go to the steakhouse across the street. 2-hour wait.
Oh.
Okay. We start walking around, and my kids, 16, 24, getting cranky.
Yeah.
Dad, need to make a reservation.
Yeah.
So my son stops a guy walking on the street. He's walking 2 dogs, so he looked like he lived in the neighborhood. Hey, can you recommend a place? Yeah. Merrill's, right up the street over here, about 50. Okay. We go inside. They say it's an hour wait.
Ugh.
I'm like, we're standing there. I'm like, can we order dinner at the bar? Yes. Well, as we ordered dinner at the bar, we see Booger McFarlane get up. He knew the manager of the restaurant, and Warren Sapp, the Colorado defensive line coach, my friend, who I used to work with in the NFL Network, was there. They both came over. They spoke to the manager. They got us a table. So we sit down finally, like an hour and a half of looking for a table. We're all happy. We're sitting in this place, Merrill's, and the chef in the kitchen comes out, and he comes to introduce himself to us. His name was E.J. Lagasse. And I go, Lagasse, like related to Emerald? And he's like, yeah. That's my dad. I'm like, Emerald Lagasse dad? He goes, yeah. Emerald comes out of the kitchen. So now we got Emerald and EJ at a place that we stumbled into later cooking in that restaurant in New Orleans.
Wow. So you hit the mother low.
Awesome.
Now, did your two kids understand what just happened?
No, I think I'm like to my Dylan, do you know who this is? No. Look it up on Google, Dylan. Okay, read about it. Okay? Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we sat there, took pictures of Emerald and EJ. They sent down a bunch of food. We ate all this. I mean, that's something that never has happened before in a Super Bowl.
And with
Dmac.
that,
and with your kids, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
And with my kid. And, by the way, and then last night, oh my, there were so many things. Like it was a wild one. I mean, so many cool things. So many cool things. People you bump into, people you meet. What is the quote that somebody gave me? And I sent it to them today. The quote was, it's a good quote, Scott. Ready? The more real you get, the more unreal it gets.
Wow.
The more real you get, the more unreal it gets.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And that Muhammad Ali apparently once said that. And all I can tell you is that's how I would describe Super Bowl week. The more real you get, the more unreal it gets. And there were a lot of those things. You know what else is great?
Yeah.
Randy Moss showing back up.
Oh, yeah. How about that? How's he doing?
That was unbelievable. Like, he looked thin, but he looked great. And he was so happy on the set with the guys. And he only wanted to, after the Super Bowl, one of my favorite times of the week is after the Super Bowl, just kind of, okay, you just finished your final pregame show. I haven't had a Sunday off since Labor Day. I know that next Sunday I don't have to go up to Bristol, Connecticut at 4:30 in the morning. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, it's nice for 6 months of the year not to have to get up at 4 a.m. on a Sunday to go drive 2 hours. And so I like to finish that pregame show and just kind of sit around, bask in it, wait inside the Super Bowl. The stadium's filling up, celebrity. It's just the teams. You feel the energy. I mean, you guys have been, you know what it's like, right? It's unlike anything else. But Randy wanted to go with the ESPN crew to lunch. So after we wrapped the pregame show, Sunday Counting, we went to a local restaurant, which took us like an hour to get, a mile. And then it was like an hour to get back. I missed the entire pregame, but we got to have lunch with Randy, which was off the charts. And it was great. And it was so nice to see him back. And they did a video for him at the start of Sunday Countdown. I don't know if anybody got to see the top of the show. I posted the video on my Instagram account, I watched it. I got emotional. I was tearing up. It was unbelievable, and he was crying too.
And they paid tribute to Chris Mortensen in the press box, right? Saw that.
Yeah. Well, when they played the video, Randy, I was thinking of Mort because we would always take every year a Super Bowl picture on the field, for our hits. So yeah, of course, I think of him every Sunday. But that's a special Sunday. And, of course, the NFL was kind enough to honor him with a game ball in the press box.
Good stuff, Adam. Good stuff. All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, geez, it's you guys got anything else, for Adam?
You want to break down the halftime show on the way out?
I didn't understand any of it. Like, I'm not cool enough and hip enough to understand any of it. Like, I asked my daughter, like, what do we think of that? Yeah, she liked it. Okay, other people but I had some guy just now, he's getting sandwiches for my kids, and guy's like, what was that halftime show? I'm like, are you asking the wrong guy? Like, I don't know. You tell me, was it good or not?
All right, I'll tell you this real quick, because I didn't understand any of it either, watching it live.
He looked it up.
I looked it up. For whatever it's worth, if you look it up and understand there was a big story behind the whole thing, it's actually pretty amazing what was going on. But I did not understand it, Adam, at the time. I had to go look it up. So
his feud with Drake, something with his feud with Drake?
Yes. And relationship with SZA and Serena, and including a line, and the whole, didn't it hit you when the whole crowd chanted A minor and the game over thing? I mean, there was reasons behind all of it. But again, if you don't understand the story, like this was a story. This was kind of the conclusion of a story. So whether or not you give a crap about the story, you're not going to give a crap about the show. But I'm going to guess your daughter and maybe your son too understood the story a lot better than you. I'm sure they did.
They both liked it. I mean, I didn't hear like, oh my God, that was the greatest thing that I've heard that for some halftime shows that I've been at. I didn't hear that.
Well,
I did.
That's what it was. Adam, we will start talking about the season because right now everybody is 0-0. It all starts again.
And let me just say this. Back in the fall, I made the decision to come over here, and I made the decision to come over here because of you guys and the other guys. I'm being honest. Like they said, okay, I was talking to Dave Fleck, like who would I be on with? And he said you guys, and he said the other guys. And I'm like, done. Because when you do this stuff, I don't have to do this stuff.
Right.
But it's fun to do, and it's great when you do it with people that you like and respect and admire. And you guys do a great job, and it's been a pleasure to be on with you all year long. I've enjoyed it. I saved up my biggest story of the year to break as soon as I hang up on this segment.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well,
but I wanted to just honestly thank you guys for all the work that you did and making it as enjoyable as it was all season long. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, our pleasure. 100%, Adam.
Yeah, all right. Now you can focus some real time on your fantasy basketball team.
By the way, Scott, last night, my daughter, the PA announcer, she's going, who's this guy in the PA? I go,
Alan Roach, our guy.
Exactly. He used to be in Denver. Like, I think he still might be in Denver.
Yeah, I think he lives here.
He is.
I said, no, I think he might have moved to Minnesota.
He travels from Denver to Minnesota just for the Vikings home games.
Okay.
He lives in Denver, though. He still does PA for the Avalanche most nights.
Yeah, I said to Dylan, this guy Alan Roach from Denver, and he used to work on the radio with us during Broncos broadcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And but she picked up on it. She's like, "Oh, he's got a great voice." I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. So
Smart girl.
anyway,
Yeah,
we're doling out a lot of compliments. You guys did a great job. I was really tremendous to be with you all year long. Really enjoyed it. As you can see, like our segments were supposed to, they always go over.
all right.
And they would keep going if I didn't have to go do NFL Live like I do today in 8 minutes. So
we'll let you go, and we love you too, Adam, and it's awesome to have you on.
Yeah, appreciate
Thanks,
it, buddy.
Thank you, Adam.
See you, pal.
We'll see you.
okay, take care, guys. See you, buddies.
Adam Schefter is brought to you by Colorado Credit Union. Love where you live, love where you bank. Visit ccu.org to learn more.